Looking for the most productive fruit trees you can put in the ground in a desert environment like we have here in Arizona? You're in luck. We're gonna show you what our top 5 picks are today. Hello everyone, this is Dwayne with Edge of Nowhere Farm, and we're coming to you here in August. Now if you guys have been following us along, you know that we have over 200 fruiting trees, vines, and shrubs here on the Sonoran Desert Farm. And today what we want to talk to you about are our top 5 picks of the most productive fruit trees that we've found here in Arizona. So we're looking at actual types of trees, okay? So varieties will vary just a little bit, but we wanted to give you an idea. If you're looking for sheer production, what's gonna give you the most volume of fruit here in Arizona? Now, if you guys know the 5 C's of Arizona, there's one of them behind me here, that is citrus. We are gonna go ahead and disqualify citrus because it would just win. There's no way around it. We all know that here in Arizona. In fact, if you're in California, Arizona, Texas, Florida, or Hawaii, you already know that those are citrus states. You can grow them very easily and they are extremely abundant. So that aside, what would be our top 5 picks for most productive types of trees? Number 5 on our list of most productive trees here in Arizona would be figs. Now, you guys know we have a lot of figs here. In fact, when it comes to different varieties, we have 20 plus varieties of figs here on the farm. We love our figs and they're very productive. The only thing about them is they're not very big, and a lot of times we don't get a lot of that production. Either way, a top producer for us here in Arizona, and our number 5 pick is figs. So number 4 on our list of most productive trees are jujubes. Now you can see our Shanxi or Shaanxi Li tree behind us here is still loaded with fruit. So the only thing about jujubes, they don't weigh very much, and that's really kind of what we focused on with this list is production and what's the overall weight of fruit when it's all said and done. So a very, very productive tree and a wonderful type of fruit tree for us here in Arizona. Number 3 on our list of most productive fruit trees here in Arizona would be apples. Now, I will say that really does depend on variety in this case. And our 2 primary varieties for us here in Arizona would be the Anna and the Golden Dorset. You get those 2 trees, especially once they get big, like the one you see behind me here, they're gonna give you a ton of fruit. So before we get to our top 2 most productive trees here in Arizona, I want to give you a couple runners up. But before I do that, I want to clarify, we really struggled a little bit with placing all of these, because honestly, all of these are very productive trees for us here. So we really kind of focused on what gives you the most volume, like weight of fruit. What weighs the most when it's all said and done by tree, and what is the most consistent? So I should clarify that. But before I do, the top 2 runners up would be, you can't be here in the desert and not mention pomegranates. Now, pomegranates are a very productive, wonderful tree for us in the desert. They overproduce if nothing else. The challenge that we found is we almost never get any ripe fruit off of those trees. It's very difficult to get them from fruit set in March or April to fruit ripening in basically December. Between the birds and the sunlight, it just destroys our entire crop. But they are a very productive tree. And the other one that's a runner-up would be grapes. Grapes do wonderful for us here, give us a lot of volume, but we figure, you know what, we are saying most productive trees, and well, that's a vine, not a tree. So we eliminated that one as well and did make it into the top 5. What are our top 2 most productive trees with those things in mind here in Arizona? So number 2 on our most productive trees in Arizona would be mulberries. Now, you guys know we love our mulberries here. We have several varieties, and I will say this is variety specific. The Shangri-La and the black Pakistan varieties are by far our most productive ones. You'll see a contorted mulberry behind me here. It produces, but we don't get a lot of ripe fruit on it. We've got a Persian mulberry that kind of does the same thing, and we've got a white Persian that's not so good, but the everbearing, the Shangri-La, and the black Pakistan do wonderfully. And the only reason it didn't make number 1 is simply because a lot of times we don't get a lot of the fruit. A lot of it will fall onto the ground, but they are very, very productive trees and could have very easily been our top choice. Okay, all of that said, what is our most productive fruit tree here in Arizona? That would be peaches. Now, I know a lot of you are probably gonna be saying, peaches, are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. In fact, when people ask me about peaches, I say if you don't have a peach in your yard here in Arizona, you're probably wrong. It is an extremely productive tree for us here, and what's wonderful about them, well, a lot of things. If you've never had a ripe peach off of a tree, you don't know what a peach tastes like. That's just the reality. And a few varieties for us here in particular, including the one you see behind me here, our Florida Prince peaches, man, they just overproduce. In fact, if we don't thin them heavily, there'll be so much fruit on these trees, it will simply break branches off. But a wonderful, very high producing, wonderful tasting fruit would definitely be peaches. And it's our top pick for most productive trees here in Arizona. So what do you think of our list? Did we miss something? Should we order them maybe a little bit different? You'll have to let us know down in the comment section, especially if you're here in Arizona or a similar climate where you got a desert environment like ours. What are you growing that you feel is your most productive trees? We'd love to see your list. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. We cover a lot of things here on this Sonoran Desert Farm and would love to see you on a regular basis. If you have any questions or comments, those go in the comment section down below. And our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That's a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with the link down below, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. And hey, if you haven't found us already on TikTok, we are on there as well. You can find us at EON Farm. Love to see you there. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you. Number 3 on our list of most productive fruit trees would be apples. Now, I will have to clarify this. First, go ahead and shut it down. Before I do that, let me just make sure and clarify. So we focus, go ahead and shut it down. Roddy's walking back. Hey.